Well, we continue on with Odyssey Book 1, and we left Telemachus entertaining Athena, who has arrived in the guise of Mentes. And Telemachus saw Athena standing around the door, invites her in and sits her down, and now we have the usual guest friendship details here about providing food and drink and so on. So we finished up at 135 last time, so now we have the amphipolos, and it's a feminine amphipolos, as we see from the participle. So the female servant carrying care nibba. This is from care, a hand, and the verb nipto, to wash. So it's hand washing water. So the servant girl brought water, bringing water, poured it out from a beautiful golden prokoios jug over top of a silver basin. So the idea was that the servant would pour the water down on your hands, and then underneath there would be a basin to catch the water. And we get an epexegetic infinitive, nipsasthai, from niptomai, to wash, so for washing. So it's almost that old dative use of the infinitive here, for the washing. And this is from literally to stretch out, so placed a polished table beside them, and the august stewardess bringing food, placed it beside them, having placed upon it much edata, much victuals, much food. And we get this Homeric idiom here, charizomene parionton, freely given from that which is present. So it's a way of saying there were generous portions, so generously given from what they had. Diatros is a noun. This is the carver. So the carver, raising up, placed beside them, pinakas, this is from pinax, third declension noun, a plate of pantoion crayon, all sorts of meats. And we get a nice enjambment here, so it's of meats, and then to emphasise how nice it is, of all sorts, not just one. He placed golden cups, kupella, para sphi phosphisin, beside them. And the herald, epoikata, from epoikamai, went up and down, thama, frequently, pouring wine, autoisi, for them. And the arrogant suitors came in, and they then sat down, hexeas, each in turn, it's an adverb, on their klismus, on their seats and thrones. And the heralds poured water upon the hands for them, and the female servants. Now we get this is a verb here, it's connected with neo, although neo doesn't occur in Homer, I think, but this is kind of paraneo. It means to heap up. So again, it's emphasising the generosity of what's happening here. So they were heaping up, sit on food, en canioisi, on their bowls, in their bowls. And the young men, this is from epistephomai, it's to top up, it's a bit like when you have a beer and you've got a good head on it. So they were filling up to the top their krateras, their drinking bowls, poter with potoiot, with drink, genitive. So the young men were filling up their drinking bowls with drink. This next couple of lines again is stock standard in Homer, but they, now there's our verb here, eolon, were putting forth their keras, their hands, to the oneato. So this is a third declension noun. So this would be ata here, oneata, but the alpha's disappeared before the vowel, and the hard breathing has turned the tor into a theta. So you look at this under onair, it's a third declension noun neuter, which is why you've got these neuter endings here. So they put forth their hands to the food lying ready, which lay before them. And again, another stop line. But when they had, this is from Hiami, literally when they had released or finished their desire for drink and food. So when they'd had enough to eat, the suitors, so when the suitors had given up their desire for drink and food, Allah is the subject here, and the verb here is that verb of concern. Other things were a concern for them in their hearts. The molpe, well, generally dancing, but probably here music, and oikestus, and dancing. For, we get a nomic statement here, with that is why we've got that little te. Homer uses te in nomic statements, generalised statements. We need to supply the verb to be. For these are the anathemata. These are the adornments of the feast. Kerux, but the herald placed a kitharis, this is some kind of lyre or harp or something, a very beautiful one, into the hands for Phemius. For Phemius, and he sang ananke out of necessity, he had no choice in the matter, beside the suitors. This is important in the later part of the story. So Phemius is their constant singer. He's mentioned numerous times in the Odyssey, but he's doing it ananke, he's compelled to do it. He's not doing it by choice. And indeed he, for Misdone, playing the forminx, which is again type of lyre or harp, he began to take up, this is from Anabalamai, it's to begin to strike up, begin to sing beautifully. You translate that. So he made a beginning of song to sing beautifully. So he began to sing beautifully. But Telemachus addressed grey-eyed Athena. Scone from Echo, so holding his kephalain, his head, Anki near. Hiname, lest the others Puthoi artop. Now this is this form that you often get in Homer, which is somewhat confusing. The form is that you've lost the omicron before the vowel, and then the hard breathing has turned the tor into a theta. But in fact, this is a sonant n here. This alpha is a sonant n. It's actually a third person plural, and it's from the verb punthanamai, to perceive. Punthanamai, to perceive. So a little bit tricky, that bit there. So lest the others might overhear, might perceive. Dear stranger, indeed, this is subjunctive here, it's sort of, you might be angry with me at whatsoever thing I might speak. So you might be cranky with what I'm about to tell you. Tauta, these things are of concern to them. The kitharis, this is the lyre or harp, and the singing, the oidan, and the song. Rhea, something like easily so, since edusin they eat ne poinon. This is this negative ne. This is the idea of requital or paying back. So they eat without requital, literally foreign food, foreign livelihood. So they are devouring someone else's livelihood without paying for it, without paying back. The livelihood aneros for andros of a man who indeed, perhaps, so whose white ostia, whose white bones, of a man whose white bones, puthetai is not from puntanamai. This is the verb of rotting. So they are. He is rotting in the ombros, in the rain, lying on the shore, or a kuma, a wave, is rolling him in the sea. Is rolling him in the sea. But if if they might see, so just to be clear about this, so of a man perchance whose white bones are rotting in the ombros, in the rain, lying on the shore, or perhaps the mainland, lying on the mainland or on the land, or a wave is rolling him about in the sea. And here's that sonant n again, so this would be idoi nto, so it's actually a third person plural, optative. So if they might see him, that man, having returned safely to Ithaca, all of them, here again, that alpha is a sonant n, all of them would pray to be swifter in respect of their feet than wealthier in respect of, wealthier with gold and clothing. So they would rather pray that they had swifter feet rather than pray that they were wealthier in gold and beautiful clothing.